Hello, I'm Dale Harris and welcome to this introductory course for classical guitar. This course is aimed at beginners and those people who have a little bit of experience and who generally just want to be able to use their fingers in a more expressive style to be able to play classical styles, Spanish styles and Latin type styles. I have one or two basic expectations of the students that are watching this video. One is that you can already play a little bit of guitar, but not necessarily in the classical style. So for instance, you might already know some chords and be able to strum some songs. So that's fine. So your fretting hand, you're pretty much covered if you can maneuver your hand around and you know some of the names of the chords like C, G, F. And regarding the right hand, I wouldn't be surprised that people watching the course would already be using, say, a plectrum, or maybe even using the fingers. But now when you play classical styles, you need to execute sort of more accurate motions on the fingers. So if you can use your fingers, that's great. But if you don't already use your fingers, then hopefully you're going to be open to experiencing this and developing that aspect of your technique. So our basic starting point will be the open strings. E, B, G, D, A, E. You can make up silly names or just words that go with the strings to help you memorize them if you don't already know them. For instance, elephants become good defenders against evil. So when it comes to playing a random note on the fretboard, if you're like many guitarists and students, some people don't always know all of the fretboard, especially if you're playing really fast. But it's really good to know the fretboard, and it really does help to know the names of the notes. This helps you later on work out the harmony, the chords, the relationships between notes and phrases. So it's worth knowing some very, very basic rules about how the sharps work or flats, and you may have heard the words C sharp, G sharp, F sharp, but maybe you don't know how it all works. So in music you have the notes A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Some of those notes have sharps after them and some of them don't. So it's a good starting point to learn the exceptions to the rule, because two of the notes, B and E, or E, the next note up, which will be fret 1, they don't have a sharp after them. So E goes to the next letter in the alphabet, which is F. B goes to the next letter in the alphabet, C, and obviously E, whatever happens on this string, the same happens on the bass string. So E, F. So if you remember, say, think of a bee buzzing round and think the spelling B-E-E for a B, then it helps you to know that when it comes to does an A have a sharp after it? Well, yes, because it's not B or E. Same with F, same with G, same with C. So then what you can start to do is practice going up the fretboard and naming the sharps. So if I start on elephants become good defenders against, so we start on A is followed by A sharp. It's a sharp of the same name, so A sharp, next letter in the alphabet is B. There's no B sharp, so it's the next letter in the alphabet, which is C. C goes to C sharp, goes to the next letter in the alphabet, which is D. Goes to the next letter, it goes to the sharp, D sharp. Then next letter of the alphabet, which is E. There's no E sharp, so it goes to the next letter in the alphabet, which is F. Goes to F sharp after that. Then it goes to the next letter in the alphabet, which is G. Goes to G sharp after that. Now on most classical guitars, where the guitar joins the body is the 12th fret, and the reason that it's delineated in that way is because E, B, G, D, A, E, elephants become good defenders against evil. You're back where you started. So you can then get people to test you, or you can test yourself, put your finger somewhere on a particular string. Elephants become, that's the B string. No B sharp, so that one's C, C sharp, D, D sharp. Fingers on D sharp. Put your finger there. Elephants become good defenders. D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. My fingers on G sharp. Fingers all the way up there. You can work it backwards if you like. Think, well, we're on the elephants become good defenders against. That's A. So we know that's A, so we just think of the one that's before it, which is G sharp. So you can then practice doing that backwards if you become much more confident with that system. But the idea of knowing these frets and knowing the notes that go with them and the pitches, although you may not have your full musical understanding at the moment, they will help you later on, and they will be of vital importance, especially when you start playing much more complicated music. If you're thinking really fast, it's amazing how these notes end up becoming identifiable in some way, and if you memorize these notes, and in the end what you do is you memorize clusters of notes. So in other words, you're not memorizing each individual note, you just remember that it's a sequence going from something that's like you're thinking of D major, and it might go into E major, and so the notes might suggest chords, they may suggest scales. So all of this will become a little bit clearer later on with the remainder of the lessons that you'll hopefully go on to watch. So that's a little bit about sharps and the fretboard.